Hi guys, I'm very excited to be here on stage and I'm very happy to see so many people that came here. Wow. Today I am gonna show you guys two looks. I wanted to make like the most out of this masterclass. So I'm gonna start with my kind of like signature glowy skin look, and I wanted to explain you guys how important it is to achieve that glowy look with not only like plastering the face with many layers and many highlighters and foundation. So you can basically achieve this glowy look with very minimal products, and it's also like one of my signatures basically to achieve the look, and it's looking natural. So when you just like have the person in front of you, then you don't want to see that like, oh my god, okay, this is like my foundation, there's my highlighter, there's my contour. You don't want to see all those things. It should all look natural. It should look like, oh, I just like woke up like this, basically, almost, you know? So I'm going to show you guys how I basically mix my illuminator, basically. So my primer, basically. So I'm mixing moisturizer, like 50-50 basically, on like one drop of a moisturizer, and then I'm mixing an illuminator, a highlighter, and this is going to be the base for my foundation basically. So I'm applying it all over the face. That's very also important, like what kind of a highlighter you mix in there. So all these like silver highlighters that have like some purplish tone, I find them very unnatural and it's very cold. So I like the highlighter to be more on the warmer tone, but not too goldenish also. So something like rosy, gold, beige, something like that. So once you apply that illuminating primer, basically, that you created yourself by mixing a moisturizer and a highlighter together, you will see that already your skin is glowy and you don't need to cover it up so much with foundation. Okay, everything is still in a moist zone, so I've not worked with any powder or anything on it. When you apply on something moist, some powder, then it can go a little like flaky and a little like shaky, and so that's why while it's still in this fluid zone, you can you add the highlighter. Also highlighters, I'm mixing multiple highlighters because it's very difficult sometimes to find the right tone. So I'm mixing a little bit of like some lighter one, then I'm mixing like a little bit of like some gold in there, and a little bit pink. So I'm putting it here on this zones that you like to highlight. I like to also go up to the temples. I don't like when the highlighter is only here, you know, like only at the top of the cheek. A little bit you can dab here, a little bit here. I add this like later on with another highlighter as well. As you can see already, her face is already very glowy. So now we can set the concealer. The concealer is going to be basically my foundation. This is going to be the max that I'm going to cover her face with the concealer only. In general, also I've heard like there are people that apply concealers with a flat brush. I would not recommend you to apply the concealer with a flat brush. I would recommend you to apply it with like a round, fluffy brush. You will see that application is going to be much more smooth. It's going to be much more even. So apply it with a fluffy, thick brush. And if you want, you can then additionally also dab with a sponge on top of it to just blend it in better. And I'm just going to set the concealer with a little bit of translucent powder. Also, every time before you setting the concealer, always just dab the concealer to make sure that it's not creasing, and then immediately dab the translucent powder to lock it. So then we're going to the next step, which is the contour. Brush strokes. Because contour also should be, you know, like it should create a frame around your face. It should not be only here on the sides. like, oh, like this is my contour and then like a little bit under the chin. It should be like a frame, you know, you're creating basically a frame. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this soap brow technique. So I really like to use it nowadays. It's like one of my favorite techniques. It's basically, the soap is just a normal regular soap that I'm using. I'm just like spraying a little bit, a few pumps of fixing spray, and I'm using a spoolie, and I'm just like scrubbing a little bit of some soap on my spoolie and just brushing the brows of the model with the soap up. So the soap basically helps to separate each and every strand of the brow, so it looks like more brushed, so you have that brushed brow effect. And also once it dries, it just stays like this, which is quite nice. I would definitely say if you use this soap technique, you should wait until it dries first. We're gonna move to the eye. So I'm gonna do this really like bronzy, beach, natural eye. For that as well, you just need just a little bit of brown, like a warm brown. Then we're going to take a little bit of light shade. You can even use your highlighter. Many times I'm even using a highlighter. I mean, I'm just going to do it right now as well. I'm just going to use a powder highlighter, basically. So now I'm taking the mascara. I'm a fan of a lot of mascara, so I always apply the mascara in multiple layers. I just wait until the first layer just dries and then apply the second layer. It's very important that your first layer that you apply, you fan out the lashes evenly, because once the mascara is dry and then you're applying a second layer, then you get like all this like clumps. Take care, as long as your first layer fanned out the lashes really nicely, then you're good. Also many times, I mean now I'm doing pretty well, but usually when I'm applying mascara, it's to 90% mainly happening. I'm always kind of like dapping like some kind of like mascara on the eyelid, which is absolutely fine. Don't wipe it away straight away. Let it dry. Once the mascara is dry, then you can just like flick it off with a Q-tip. For this look, I would also just put a really nude lipstick. You can use a lip liner if you want to. My look is almost done, the first one, right? I'd like to add a little bit of the highlighter at the Cupid's bow. I applied also with my fingers only because I just feel like this is the better application way. In the end, you can mattify those areas that you feel like it's maybe like too shiny for you, or you just like to keep this areas matte, which is, like I mentioned in the beginning also. So this is simple everyday look, or also a very many times used editorial look. It's about simplicity. It's about not caking up the face, about creating glow without foundation. I would like to show you guys now how I would transform this look into something more editorially, maybe, if you say. I would like to show you guys also how you can use products in multiple ways. For example, like I use the highlighter as an eyeshadow. I also like to use lipstick for the eye, for example. So to achieve that look, I'm just like a little bit gonna buff this gold out. So I'm gonna use now red lipstick basically, and I'm gonna create red liner with a red lipstick. Start with the flick first. So basically with the corner of the eye, because you want to lift the eye with that liner. You don't want like some droopiness when you paint a liner. Ask your model to keep her eyes open, because a lot of times when the eye is shut, you're applying the liner and then the model is opening the eyes and it's just looking like something completely different. I don't know if you guys experienced that before. Yeah, so I experience it almost every time, so that's why I tell the person to please look straight, because this is how the person is mainly going to look. And then I'm creating the flick, and then I can paint the rest, okay? So this is what we're going to do right now again. So I want it to look straight. Like this, I can see basically how the eye is going to look when it's open. And then I'm creating the flick first. Okay, like this. Close now. So once I have this guideline, then I know how to go on with the rest of the liner. So at an editorial shoot now, this would be actually already enough, you know? You have to you don't need to always think like, oh, I have to do now some super creative artwork on the face to make it editorial, to make it interesting. Editorial is about beauty and the simplicity. So don't think that you have to do some artwork on the face and this is an editorial makeup. It's looking more theatrical than editorial when you do this kind of work. Now to just add like something on top of this, which is one of my favorite things out there in the world, is glitter. So how are we gonna do this? We're gonna use tissue, and to stick glitter on you can use different things. I'd like to use actually lash glue. If it's not such a really wide area, then you can definitely use lash glue. So I'm gonna do this tissue technique. And very carefully I'm dabbing this glitter step by step along. Ta-da! And to be very honest, I wouldn't even mind using red lipstick for this look. So we can basically clean out this nude lipstick that we had put for the look before. Especially red lipstick, I would definitely always recommend to apply with a liner. And also like one more layer of mascara, because we have put all this glitter on it. So I'm just hoping I'm not going to have so much fallout now because of the mascara. And then adding again a little bit of some highlighter at the cupid's bow. The rest I think is highlighted enough. And then finishing it off with a fixing spray. Which is also very important, what many people forget, is the body. So now, as you can see, our face is glowing, but we also have other body parts also. So it's not like the face is like separate from the rest of your body. So you should definitely make sure that you have the same glow also and on all the body parts that it's showing, especially when you work on shoots. For that, I'm also just mixing moisturizer with a little hint of illuminator again. So you're basically creating your own body glow product with just like a simple moisturizer and a highlighter basically. So it's just moisturizer with a little bit of goldenish highlighter. And of course also arms. So only now my look is complete. Beauty in the simplicity. I think this is like the slogan for the look of today, and especially when it comes to editorial look, beauty in a simplicity. I hope you like it.